How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got another review. Today we're going to be reviewing this 1990 Nissan Skyline GTS-4. Now, obviously, right off the bat, guys, to anyone who might not know, obviously this is a R32 Skyline, and it does actually look like a GTR, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more when I'm actually talking about the body. But it does have like a GTR body kit, so pretty much the front bumper, the wing, as well as the front lip right here, like the lower lip, is all off a OEM GTR, R32 GTR. But this GTS-4, again, is technically not a GTR, but it is a Skyline, and it actually is a all-wheel drive Skyline. It's not one of the rear-wheel drive Skylines. So again, I'm going to be talking more about that when I go on and talk about the drivetrain. The curb weight of this car is actually right at 3,153 pounds, and it does have a wheelbase right at 103 inches. And you guys could see the black paint right here, pretty much just the kind of standard factory black paint. And one thing I really like about this car is the Sibon GTR OEM hood. It's carbon fiber. You can see the hood clips right there, but I really like that. It goes really well with the black paint scheme, and also on the side here. And another really cool kind of like little touch on the exterior is the JDM Ganador side mirrors. Again, rear right-hand drive. Anyone who doesn't know already, I feel like that's self-explanatory, but there might be people out there that don't know that. And one thing I really like on the back of this car is actually the plate right here. Now, this is not the real plate, but if you know you're Fast and Furious, that's actually the kind of fake plate, or like the same numbers or whatever, off of the R34 Too Fast Too Furious GTR, which is kind of cool. Like, it's a little cool detail that the owner kind of decided to throw in there. Now, moving on to the wheel and tire setup. These wheels are Vorstone ES6s, and they're pretty much 18 by 9.5. And these wheels are actually wrapped in Federal Super Sport 595. They're 225s by 40 by 19s in the front, and they're pretty much this exact same in the rear here. Now, the brakes as well on this GTS-4 were a little bit different from factory than kind of like the base model Skylines. They did come with vented discs, and in the front I believe it's just a regular 2-piston caliper, and in the back I think you just have the single piston caliper. So pretty standard brakes. And I believe the R32 GTRs did actually come with the bigger Brembo brakes. I don't know that for sure though, so if you know, definitely correct me down in the comments below. But this thing definitely does look really awesome, and I really like that the owner added kind of the GTR parts on the exterior. All right, guys, so now we have the hood popped on this 1990 Nissan Skyline GTS-4, and underneath the hood you can see the RB20 DET. Now, this engine is pretty much just a single turbo inline 6 4-valve per cylinder engine. Now, normally when you're talking about RB engines, for example, like the RB26 DETT that is found in the GTRs, it has 2 T's literally because it is twin turbo, whereas the DE engines are no turbo at all. They're naturally aspirated, and then the DETs have a single turbo. So this does come with a single turbo from factory. And this engine actually only made around 212 brake horsepower at 6,400 RPMs and 195 foot-pounds of torque at 6,400 RPMs. Now, that being said, guys, it's on the stock turbo right now, and the owner does plan to swap that out in the future, but there is a ton of different mods done to this thing. It has a Haltech Platinum Sport 2000 ECU, a custom intake manifold that you guys could probably see right there. Also, right here is the 80mm throttle body, 800cc injectors, a Walbro fuel pump, and also in the front down low that you do have the aftermarket front mount intercooler, ISR catback exhaust. It's pretty much a 3-inch single pipe all the way back from the cat. And also another thing you guys could probably tell from looking on the outside of this car, but this Skyline is sitting on D2 coilovers, so you got a little bit of camber in the rear, and you can see the top of the coilovers right there. But pretty much for anyone who doesn't know, these cars do share some components with the actual GTRs, such as the all-wheel drive system, as well as the Alteza all-wheel steering system. And this car is actually the same, has the same 5-speed manual transmission that is found in the R32 GTRs. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, about the drivetrain. But again, it's a Skyline. It's got to be awesome to drive. It is a right-hand drive. all-wheel drive, and it is pushing a decent amount of power. The owner says with the mods done to it, it's probably around, give or take, 250, which is something I would probably guess just from looking at it. But still, I actually heard it run before starting to film, and I really love the turbo sound. You get a lot of turbo flutter. So, but besides that, not much to say about the drivetrain. Again, it's not like fully built or anything crazy. I do like the little, I guess, carbon fiber grille and like little carbon fiber pieces here and there around the car. And if you have been subscribed to my channel, you know I absolutely love Skylines. So you can kind of see like all the information from Nissan in the back there. A bunch of like Japanese writing underneath the hood, which again, I always find really cool. And also you can see that, like, you know, the cover here and some stuff might be a little bit dirty, but again, you have to understand that this car is from 1990, so it's pretty much 31 years old now. And for a 31-year-old car, it definitely is in a really decent condition. And this is actually a 200,000 kilometer car, so it's not insane, you know, mileage on it, but it's definitely been driven throughout its years. And again, that's pretty much what the owners know. So they had this thing imported, so there's a bunch of different information. I mean, you can kind of go on about these Skylines for hours and hours, but for now I'm actually going to go on to the interior, and then we're going to actually see how this thing is out on a drive. All right guys, so now moving on to the interior of this Skyline. Again, obviously it is right-hand drive. Anyone who doesn't know much about Skylines, that's probably the first thing that you should know. They never made any left-hand drive Skylines. There's actually been some converted in some like countries like Australia and Russia, but that's, again, that's a whole nother conversation. But right here in front of me, you can see the NRG steering wheel. It does have energy quick release and also an energy shift knob right here with a like bride shift boot, it looks like. And again, this car is the manual, same exact 5-speed manual transmission in the R32 GTRs. There also is a different radio, and it does have a subwoofer in the back. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but right there is a AEM air to fuel ratio gauge kind of wired into the glove box right there. But for the most part, this thing really isn't in bad shape. Again, like 31-year-old car, and I can't really see any major cracks or anything in the plastic. Obviously this interior, it's like 1990s, so everything is, you know, still kind of all plastic, but this steering wheel does feel really cool. And again, overall, just like sitting on the right hand side of the vehicle when actually in it just feels really weird here in America. So, and also again, if you guys have seen on my channel before, I did do a review on a R33 Skyline, and that Skyline is actually completely different on the inside. This one actually seems a little bit more compact, and for some reason like the dashboard is like kind of like slanted up more. But anyways, that being said guys, we're actually going to take this thing out on a drive, and I'll show you guys my initial reactions. Alright guys, so now we're actually taking this R33 GTS-4 for a drive. We have Jake in the back, and then Jay actually driving. Pretty much just, you know, father and son. So if you guys want, you know, talk about, I guess, the story of this car, how you imported it or whatever.
Yeah, so I used to own a Corvette Pro Touring 1971, and Jake and I have been going to car shows since he's 3 years old. About the time he was 12 years old, he started getting into Japanese cars such as Supras and Skylines, and told us that when he's 17 he'd really like to have a Skyline. And to be honest, I didn't know what one was, so my wife and I researched them, thought it was kind of cool. When he turned 14, we actually made the decision to purchase the car because prices were starting to go up, and we were nervous that we wouldn't be able to afford one when he turned 17. Also, Jake likes to work with his hands, so we figured he'd give him a great opportunity to work on the car before he gets his driver's license. So that's what he's been doing. He was just on spring break. He replaced the coil packs and spark plugs by himself, and the car runs so much better. Revs to the moon, no hesitation whatsoever.
Yeah, no, it sounds amazing too, because there's no, I don't think, is there even a blow-off valve or anything?
I believe there is.
Okay.
Turbo.
Okay, so it's like...
It's an internal blow-off valve.
Okay, internal blow-off valve, Jake said. So, but yeah, you still get a lot of like turbo flutter, so the thing sounds amazing. And obviously, like you said, it runs like really good. And even just like the little time that I've spent in it, it's very surprising that this is a 200-kilometer car or whatever. Yeah, and that turbo flutter sounds amazing. So Jake, I have a question for you. So I guess this is pretty much your first car, right?
Yes.
So so now you have your license, right?
I just passed the permit test yesterday.
You just passed the permit test, so now you have your permit or whatever?
I'm going to the driving school Wednesday.
Okay. So are you doing that stuff in this car or like the family car or whatever?
I want to do it in this car. They will not allow it though.
Oh yeah, because right-hand drive or whatever. That would be funny.
Pretty much.
No, yeah, that's really awesome, man. So this is pretty much like your first car.
Yes.
Now how do you feel about it? You love it?
I would not trade this for anything else.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I mean, Skylines are like unicorns here in the States. So if anyone's watching in a different country or whatever, and you don't really understand it, like they're just very rare here. And you know, like Jay said, the prices are going up astronomically. Like, doesn't matter the generation, could be, you know, R32, R33, R34, whatever. They're just going up because pretty much the only GTRs that we've had built here and available here in the States are the new R35s. So again, anything from regular like GTSs, GTTs, GTRs, whatever, just older Skylines are like a dime a dozen here in the States. That turbo flutter is amazing. That sound is so cool. Oh wow. And the all-wheel drive too, going around corners. It is nuts. Yeah, and the all-wheel steering. God damn. Wow, this thing tears it up. You might want to slow down up here just because of the parking lot. That's so sick. All right, well guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. Again, if you like this car, definitely be sure to leave a like down below on the video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. And like always guys, thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.